Hey, Teddy K here for Best Buy Plugin, and in this video review we take a look at the TP-Link Deco M5, a Wi-Fi mesh system made to cover your home. This is a first for TP-Link, their first attempt at making a Wi-Fi mesh network in line with, there we go, in line with what other competitors are doing. And as a first attempt, it is not that bad. Now I'm going to focus on how it works, especially with the app, because that's what you use to manage it, but for now, the idea here is pretty simple. You got three identical units, you set them up in along the house, and then it creates a mesh that ultimately gives you a better Wi-Fi signal throughout. To keep things simple, TP-Link has gone the same route as others have, which is to make three identical units so that it doesn't matter which one is the base unit and which of the two are the satellite units that are then placed around the home. So the setup is very simple, and as I'm going to show here, I have a base unit here that is connected to the modem and to other Ethernet and an Ethernet switch. Then I have one unit here. Now notice that there's only two Ethernet ports. One is for a WAN port and another is for a LAN port, but the satellite units can be used to connect devices in a wired connection as well. I've got this one here on top of a Sonos Play 5 speaker, so placement is pretty broad, but you don't want to go too far. You don't want to go beyond 40 feet. So 40 feet or less between the units is ideally where you want to go to maintain the mesh, because there's no backhaul. These things do not have their own band to connect to each other. So you need to kind of be careful where you place them. Now the app, which does the step-by-step setup here, I'm just going to run through it a little bit as I go along. It's pretty simple. It's iOS and Android, so it doesn't matter which platform you're using. And it's pretty straightforward as you go along. It can be, I'm speeding it up a little bit. It's a little bit more time consuming than this, but not that much. I was up and running in about 10 minutes or less after all was said and done. And so from here, we're complete. And this is just showing basically, you know, finding a suitable spot. Now, like I said, 40 feet is really the limit. I wouldn't go beyond that when it comes to spreading these out along the home. You do have the option of connecting the units together through Ethernet cables to basically expand the network that way and to reduce any latency that might happen because of the fact there is no backhaul. Not that easy to set up though, because you're going to need to make sure that you can run these Ethernet cables somehow without being seen. I don't know. It's not something that I would attempt to do unless maybe you're in a smaller space. So antivirus is built into the Deco M5. That's something a bit unusual for a Wi-Fi mesh system. I mean, not something you typically see. It's a nice thing to have though, in case you're a little bit concerned about the security and safety. This does extend to the devices that are connected to the Deco, so anything that is connected to it also benefits from the antivirus as well. But as I've always said, make sure you are protected. Parental controls. So here you can basically block websites. You can also block internet access entirely based on a time of day or an entire day, or just by device, or even by the user. So one kid is good, the other kid is not, maybe. Speed testing the network is available throughout, and I highly recommend doing it from each unit to see how good the connection is spreading. In my mind, the Deco M5 is ideal for those who want very simple mesh Wi-Fi and aren't really looking for that much advanced otherwise. So it's almost like it was made for those who weren't that tech savvy or just don't really like router management unless it's plainly spelled out in plain English, which is exactly really what the app does. The parental controls, for example, are pretty simple and straightforward, and the antivirus works by default, so you don't really have to make any adjustments there. Beyond that though, if you are looking for more intricate features and you want greater control, especially if you have a lot of different devices that need access and maybe need special access, this is probably not the way to go. There's definitely other Wi-Fi mesh systems that go a little bit further than this one does. And that is my review of the TP-Link Deco M5 for Best Buy Plugin. I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.